Good morning and welcome to another special edition of Bondi Snapshot. Today we're going to be joined by the amazing Rabbi Mendel Kastel OAM, and he's going to talk us through his fantastic work with Jewish House, homelessness, and a wonderful new app called Mend. Good morning, Rabbi Mendel Kastel. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful spring day here at the North Bondi Surf Club.
Morning, Marianne. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
You've been a very intrinsic part of the Bondi community for quite some time, but going way back, I mean, you were brought up in New York. Tell us about that.
Yes, I was born in New York and grew up in New York. So I finished my studies and then there's sort of an exchange program. So we get sent out to different communities around the world, and I was sent to Sydney, spent a couple of years studying, and then eventually settled down here, and I'm still here 30 years later. So,
which we're very blessed with.
Thank you.
Now, you're obviously very strong in the community, but tell us about, obviously, our first meeting and our first involvement was through Jewish House. Tell us a little bit about the Jewish House.
So Jewish House is an interesting organisation. It's an organisation that helps people that are going through a crisis. So we've got accommodation, which helps us a lot with homelessness or respite, etc. We've got psychology and social work and pastoral care and family mediation and JH Kids, and we've got all these programs that we can sort of really offer people in that difficult time to hopefully help them get out and then connect them to other services. So we help everybody. Yep. Doesn't matter what their background is, what religion. So it's a really wonderful community. It's very much built on a trauma-informed care kind of model, which means we try and make people feel as included as possible and listened to and part of the decision making, etc. So that really helps them get out of the difficult time and the trauma, which then gives them the tools to really start standing on their own feet. Because most people have an innate ability, but when you're traumatized, it's very hard to actually use that.
Yeah. Now, talk us through, you've come up with a new app, I believe it's called Mend. Yep. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It's very exciting.
So we launched an app called Mend, which is an opportunity for everybody to engage with homelessness. So if you're walking down the street, you see somebody that's homeless, in 15 seconds you can hit a few buttons, and that report will then go to a service locally who will hopefully be able to respond and try and offer them the help that's needed. And that's something that you, me, everybody can do, and we'd encourage everybody to download the Mend app. Fantastic. It's available in the Apple Store and the Google Store, and it's just an easy way to start helping people. So,
Rabbi, we're coming up to the high holidays, the Jewish New Year. There's a lot of people out there, I mean, we have a very large Jewish community, but there's a lot of people who don't understand some of the background of it. Can you just talk us through these days and what it means to you?
So, Jewish New Year is a different time to the secular New Year, and that's because the Jewish calendar is based on the moon, so our year is a bit different, and that's why you find Jewish holidays sort of move around. But the New Year is really a time when people sort of reflect on the past year, and our belief is that on the New Year we're inscribed by God for what kind of year we might have in the coming year. So it's an opportunity for us to go to synagogue, pray for a good year. It's an opportunity to make amends with people who might have had difficulties during the year, but it's also a time of celebration. So people get together and have a meal, and they have apples and honey to represent the idea of having a sweet year. They have carrots, which in Yiddish means lots, so therefore to have lots of blessings. They have the head of a fish on the table, which represents the idea of being like a head rather than like a tail. So very much symbolism of positivity and reflection.
Well, Rabbi, look, thank you very much for the work you do. It's absolutely wonderful to have you here, and I'm really blessed to have met you and shared this with you. So please keep up the good work, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and thanks for your support over many years, and it's wonderful for your friendship. Thank you.